But I remember Tony Gilroy, the director, guy, because I remember going, because I went to, I'll get killed again. He went, I said, I get killed in everything. I've been shot, stabbed, blown up, poisoned. And he went, hey man, they'll do a prequel. You know, you come back. And I was like, yeah. And they are doing a prequel of Diego Luna's character. Have I had the cold, Alex? Have I fucked?
Talking of movies, you've had a couple of cameos in some big movies, which I do want to mention. First of all, 1917. That must have been quite an experience stepping onto that set, if only because, you know, they made those trenches. It was a real set. It was a big deal.
It was a big deal. I mean, if you want to do a Steadicam shot in a war film, then you've got to come to me, because I've done that epic Steadicam one in Atonement with Joe Wright when they land in Dunkirk. So to be honest with you, when I stepped out on 1917 with Sam Mendes, I was like, yeah, this is par for the course. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Where do you want me to stand? 1917 was an absolute unforgettable. I was like 3 days. I had a kind of cough and a spit in it, really. But
you start the movie though. Start the movie.
I start the movie. But you're right. They literally dug that whole trench system. So just literally to be on that set, to see how the mechanics of it worked with the crew, how they were moving the camera, where it was, you know, coming off the crane and handheld, and it was just extraordinary. And then we got into that scene with Colin Firth when he gives them the mission, and the camera's still kind of coming in very slowly, and then the roof to the thing is lifted. It was just next level brilliance. And yeah, the great thing about 1917 also was that, weirdly, we shot it on Salisbury Plain where the trench system was, and you couldn't actually turn over if it was raining or if it was sunny. It had to be overcast for no shadows and for continuity. So there was quite a lot of time of us just hanging out. So
I don't imagine you had to audition for that, though. That must have been just a phone call going, would you like to play this role?
That was just a phone call. And it was, it's a great example to all young actors, this, because I'd never met Sam Mendes before. And then the phone call came through, and it was Nina Gold, casting director. And she said, look, everyone's going to do a little cameo, but it's mainly about the two young kids. And like Mark Strong's doing it and Benedict Cumberbatch. And I was like, yeah, of course, Andrew Scott. And you're like, I'm in. But I do remember, even I had a very small role, but it was, I arrived and went, come and meet Sam. And I went to his trailer, and he was just the nicest fella. And he explained to me the whole inspiration for the film. We talked about the character. I felt like an important cog in the wheel. Do you know what I mean? He really made me feel at home. But he said to me, Danny, it's just great to meet you. I've seen you in that play, in this play, and that. And I was just like, wow, you saw me at the Donmar, you saw me at the National. And I was just like, I never knew he was in the audience. So it was just, I always say to young actors, you just never know, you know, whatever project you're in, a play, a TV, a short film, whatever it is, you just don't know who's going to see it, and something will kind of hopefully transpire from it. So, but it was great. And I mean, I have to say, the first time I ever sat down and watched that film, it was, I just think 1917 is an absolute masterpiece. I thought it was an amazing movie.
Yeah, George Mackay is wonderful in it as well. Yeah, it's an incredible film, and it's funny going back and watching Spectre, his second Bond movie again now, and watching that opening, which is basically a rehearsal for 1917. Yeah. It's like, I think I've got an idea for a movie a little bit later, but I'm not going to say that here. So it's just one long shot at the start of Spectre. But yeah, it's great.
The similarities between Atonement and 1917 was like, don't forget your lines, hit your mark. When the camera comes to you, do your thing and move on. It's quite pressurized.
Yeah.
Because if you screw up, you've got to reset the whole thing, because it's one take. It's quite scary. Yeah.
I bet. Also, it would be remiss of me not to mention Rogue One. You had a camera. You got a little role as Tivik in Rogue One. That's a very fun scene.
And Alex, again, that was it was just a phone call, but I was part of the reshoots. I think they did a couple of weeks reshoots, and I when the Force Awakens came out, Milo and I said, okay, because he was really getting into Star Wars, and we watched all of the films in order in preparation for the Force Awakens, and then that was fantastic, and I then get this offer out the blue to be in Rogue One, and I was on holiday, and then I had to have a Zoom chat thing with the director, and the first thing he said is, okay, Danny, you're not allowed to tell anyone about this film. And I went, no, of course I've got. He went, no, you're not allowed to tell anyone. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, this whole secrecy thing was like paramount. And I was like, okay, like, and I couldn't help myself. I had to tell my son. I think he was on like a sort of thing, and he wasn't. And I said, do you want to know what Daddy's next role is? And he was like, yeah, whatever. He went, it's Star Wars, and he just went, oh, no way. And to be fair to Milo, he was brilliant. He kept it a secret. And but I mean, look, Alex, it's sort of surreal. You step out on Pinewood Lot, and there's like, you're in a scene with stormtroopers. Do you know what I mean? It was hilarious because they were just sitting around having coffee, and you're like, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was an amazing set, you know, like a street scene, and it was great to be up close with all the kind of animatronics and all the props, and just the scale of model making, and what they did with it was just incredible. Yeah, but I mean, I left that day thinking, I may be in it, I may not. Do you know what I mean? It was like I could have ended up on the cutting room floor. So thankfully, I made it. And to be fair, it was a cracking scene. There was a lot of exposition. So in a way, it was kind of integral to the story at the beginning. And indeed, he is the first character, isn't he, to get blown away, and then it progresses all the way through the film. I have to say, I think Rogue One is, for my money, the best of those standalone movies. I love how dark it is. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. And I you sort of, knowing that it was part of the reshoots, you sort of go, well, that's interesting that they wanted to give you a better idea of Diogo Luna's character early on. The fact that, you know, he will kill to protect his, you know, identity and his mission and everything. So that is interesting.
But I remember Tony Gilroy, the director, guy, because I remember going, because I went to, I'll get killed again. I said, I get killed in everything. I've been shot, stabbed, blown up, poisoned. And he went, hey man, they'll do a prequel. You know, you come back. And I was like, yeah. And they are doing a prequel of Diego Luna's character. Have I had the cold, Alex? Have I? Fuck. And I was like, I can't believe it. I'm going to be back. Anyway, maybe the phone will ring in a couple of hours. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be great to see that series, that standalone thing as well.
Yeah. Hello, Alex here. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get in touch with us at all, for any reason, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at JTFpod. And don't forget to subscribe to the full audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods.